Lachlan Morton, suggested by listener Brian.
After you.
Underrated. I like him. I've met him. I've ridden with him.
Go
on the Dimension Data training camp, the one that I was talking about Mark Cavendish the other day. We rode from... I was really hungover, and we cycled from Cape Town to Paarl, I think it was called, which is a smaller town in South Africa. And I rode there with the Dimension Data team, and I was in a pace line, and we kind of end up being paired with a rider. And I was with Lachlan Morton, and we talked about drop bears, and he was really nice.
So
I think we all had a headache from the night before.
What makes him underrated?
He just does his own thing, doesn't he? He was racing regular professional bike races. Then he started doing ultra style stuff. And now he's doing fastest known times on weird setups and doing cool stuff to his bike and putting bags in places that no one ever has before. And he just does his own thing.
Okay.
And he's a really nice guy, in my experience. So, underrated.
I think the amount that he's thrust in front of the cycling community is overrated.
Do you think he is?
Well, I don't think he's as spectacular as everyone makes out. There's a lot of people doing exactly what he's doing.
Is that his fault, though?
Well, no. There's a lot of very, very good adventure cyclists doing innovative things.
Yeah, but he's doing it at a level which is no one else is right. Well, there are people rivaling it, like the hitters in those big ultra events. But there's a small pool of them. Like they're extraordinary.
Name one of the other people doing it.
Lael Wilcox, Fiona Kolbinger, Christoph Allegart, Mike Hall.
Why aren't we hearing more about these people? Why is everything about Lachlan Morton?
Because I think the mainstream media, because mainstream cycling media has historically covered lots of pro cycling stuff, and he is a pro. But I think it's kind of cool that he's showing he's basically a pro cyclist not doing any traditional pro bike races and making a living because of it. And I bet he's paid well by his sponsors. And he's able to pick up other sponsors that aren't just from his team. So he's not completely stuck to doing exactly what the team want him to do. He's got Tailfin, sponsored by Tailfin. He's one of like the what are they called? R&D division. So you get bags. I'm on it as well. You get bags before they're released. You can test them. They give you the white bag so you can see where all the wear marks and stuff on them. So he's paid by them. He's probably got other sponsors that are not directly team related. So he's in a much. It's on Do Not Disturb. I can't remember what I was saying. So he's in a much more secure position. It's not all your eggs in one sponsor basket. Like if you're on a cycling team, you can just get kicked off and then you're stuck looking for another team. He is in a position where he's got the team, which is a bunch of sponsors like Cannondale, EF, Rafa. They're sponsored by Rafa still. And then he has his own sponsors as well. So if the team stops paying him, he's probably okay. And I like that setup. That's cool.
I stand by it. I still don't think he's as spectacular as cycling media presents him as. I think that there are more spectacular people in that space that get no airtime.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Like Fiona is a great example of it.
Yeah.
But then I think she also
Have you
doesn't
seen
want
some of
it.
her like on the rides she posts, and you look at the average wattages, and you're like, what the? It's mad.
Yeah,
it's mad.
I think she probably doesn't. I get the feeling from her she doesn't want the attention, which is probably one of the reasons we don't see her as much as people like Lachlan Morton.
Is she full time? Maybe there's no impetus. So then there's no need to, because if you're making money from it and it's your full-time job is riding in these ultra event kind of things, you need to make sure you get enough sponsorship. So you need to be in the media to make it worth it for the sponsors, right?
I think maybe she's a medic. For context, this is the lady who won TCR.
Yeah, TCR.
A couple of years ago. I'm not 100% sure. I can look it up, but I think that she's maybe a medic.
Right. I think obviously Lachlan Morton is a very high caliber athlete. I don't know. Every time I see him, probably because he's in like the pro cycling bubble, I'm just repulsed by it.
Because it's pro cycling.
I just there's something about it I don't like. It feels like it's being forced down my neck. Whereas if you look at people like Fiona and people like Mike Hall, it feels like the reason I even know they exist is because they have this unbelievable passion for riding a bike, not because they're a marketing machine.
I think that I think Lachlan is like them.
Probably.
But it's what someone else does with your image, isn't it? It's you know, Rafa and these companies use you as the poster person.
I'm guessing that he's like a Chris Hall, our mate Chris. So
He just
like,
loves riding his bike.
Chris just wants to be able to ride all the time.
Yeah.
So if someone came up to him and said he is £100,000 a year so that you can just keep riding your bike all the time, he's going to be like, well,
obviously, yes.
cool.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
I guess it's going to be that kind of thing. Doesn't Lachlan's brother also ride, or is he? Doesn't?
Gus Morton, yeah, he was around in Red Hook days and did loads of stuff there.
But they were both.
They did like a video series called Thereabouts, or a movie called Thereabouts, and they've done subsequent ones.
Yeah.
But, and they were worth a watch. Really good.
So yeah, still overrated.
Underrated.